Run it back. Here we go, bro. Full of surprises, eh?
Yeah. Hey,
let's go.
Blessed be the Lord who daily loaded us with benefits.
Use me some kind of way to make your name holy.
Our Father who art in heaven.
Holy be your name through whatever I do today.
So we do declare that our God not only gives us the bread that we need for today, but we do declare that it flows in excess.
Your kingdom come through this podcast.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Give us this day our daily bread. I'm like, Lord, I already have my daily bread. Like, you already fed me today.
Talofa, everyone, and welcome back to the Daily Bread podcast. This is episode 2. I just want to say thank you for all the love and support that the pilot got. Got some really awesome feedback. But today, we've got our first guest, a special guest. One of the boys from the area. When you talk about loyalty, this guy embodies it. He has built around that word loyalty, and I can't wait for him to share it. But I just want to introduce to everyone, Mr. Salvation, loyal to the loyal.
thank you.
Brother, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Man.
How are you?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. You know, days are days, but moments like these, bro, like, you know, when you're tired and you're out, you're kind of done. But then as soon as you spark up with one of the whistles, you know, the conversation, the energy, bro. So
spark, yeah.
good to have you on board, bro. And I've been a big fan of your work. I really enjoy watching you on social media, watching you grow. But, bro, let's go straight there, man. God is good.
All the time.
Tell me why, bro. Tell me why.
Man, hey, like I said before, man, our forefathers worked their ass off to get us here.
On.
At least we could do is build up.
That's it, bro. And I love that you touched that point, because I said this recently to my circle. It was, hey, our parents, their big moment, you know, that turning point was to migrate from wherever it was to a better place, to benefit us, to benefit, you know, their lives, the lifestyle, to learn to grow. Like, I can imagine my dad and my mum not knowing a speck of English, not knowing how to handle a mortgage or look at rental agreements, making the move to Samoa. And I'm just like, man, in my time, in our generations, what's that moment for you?
It would be starting a business.
Come on.
You know, because just like them moving here, they don't know anything.
Mm.
But like anything, everything's learnable.
Man, shout out to our parents, eh?
Hey,
The forefathers, man. I didn't even know how to.
God is good.
I can't imagine myself in the plantation, eh?
Man, especially nowadays. Yeah.
Shout out to our sponsors, Mates and Mentors, a family-run service that help our people with disability. Inspired by the idea of mateship, they believe the best mentoring happens through friendship. With strong Christian values, Johnny, Jane, and the team offer everything with a dose of love, compassion, and empathy. So if you're looking for service, check out Mates and Mentors on their socials or their website www.matesandmentors.com. Once again, thank you for sponsoring this episode. So I've known you for a while, man. I've been seeing your stuff. It's cool because some of our circle know each other. But it's awesome that we got to know each other just on our own. Like, you know, we made our own connection through DMs. You slid in. No, I slid into yours. I think I slid into your DMs because I just seen. At first, I didn't know you were in the area, bro. Yeah. And it wasn't until I think you said you were at Revolution Gym or something. Yeah. Then I realized, oh, this guy's local. So, man, thank you so much for jumping on board. Man, episode 2. And I've got one of those sorts. Salvation, loyal to loyal. All their handles will be in the info, but let's get straight into it, bro. Loyal to the loyal. That's how you say it? Loyal to the loyal. Tell me about it.
So, man, I started this brand just to inspire loyalty, self-awareness, just because, hey, you become a part of your surroundings.
Come on.
So you got to check your circle.
Yep. And that circle, I know you're big on that circle. Do you keep a small circle, a tight circle?
I keep a tight circle. And the boys, they know, man, like, if I haven't messaged them, it's only because we're grinding, we're working, you know, so, and then when I do see them, man, it's like I just seen him yesterday.
Yeah,
sort of.
just click straight in. Like a piece of puzzle, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, so loyal to loyal, bro. But what's the main thing you guys do?
The main thing we do, that's a great question. That's a great question.
Come on.
So, man, the main thing we do is, like I said before, just inspire people to serve others. You know, because realistically, we gotta please God and serve others. So, man, when you serve others, you get that satisfaction of success.
Yeah.
Because whatever you put out is gonna come back tenfold.
Yeah. And that's so cool because service in the area that you are a Mount Druitt boy, born and bred.
No, sorry, I wouldn't say but yeah, I was bred there.
Most of your life was in
Most
Mount
of
Druitt.
yeah.
What school did you go to?
So I went to Shelby High and then I went to senior campus.
Yo. And what was life growing up in the Drew?
Man, it was like fight nights on Thursday nights. But man, hey, that's what made it. Yeah,
It's all part of it.
It's all part of it. Being around the right people, like, yeah, it was good. That's what builds character, really. One half because, man, I ended up becoming school captain at senior.
Oh, no way.
So to hold that reputation that, man, I can't fight anymore.
Yeah.
So I just get the youngins to go.
Wow.
But other than that, man, growing up in Shelby, man, we used to always punch on with Mount Druitt.
Well, okay.
But then we all became best friends at senior. So it was...
Bro, touch on school captain, man. I mean,
captain.
like, what were some of the qualities that you showed young? Because obviously you would have been looked at.
Yeah.
There were definitely some leadership, qualities there. What were some things that...
It was more like just people skills.
Yep.
Communication, just being a nice guy, honestly. Because, like, it's hard to be an arsehole, especially every day, So just putting out good vibes, good energy, and, yeah, man, people support you.
Yeah, that's bad. I didn't know about that. So,
Yeah.
School captain, you left school, and then I know you did a bit of time in the army.
Yeah, so left down. My parents sent me to New Zealand to do a Bible college or police. Couldn't get into police, so went straight into the military.
Military, your time in military, how long was that?
Just under 5 years.
Nice, okay. So, what was the lesson that you learned while your time spent there?
The lesson I learned, your word is your word. So, man, if I told my right-hand man that we're going into a room and I got your back, you better believe we're coming back home that night.
Yo.
Okay? So, because, man, there's so many people that get in and when it comes time down to the crunch, they're like, I can't go in there. It's like,
and what would they come down to like just freezing?
Freezing, a lot of them freeze.
Just
a lot of them
panic attacks.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's like, man, we've trained all our lives with this, and you come to, you know,
comes to go,
it's, but
so your word is your word, and so that lesson being learned in the army, how much has that like affected your adult life?
Yeah, man, because like what you say, your actions have to follow. So that, and just like as a personal brand, whatever you say, you gotta follow through.
Yeah, and when you talk about personal brand and loyal to loyal, you guys also have a side where you sell merch.
Yeah,
and one of your recent T-shirts is the loyal to loyal across the chest with the globe, and that like what's the meaning behind the T-shirt?
The meaning behind the T-shirt was with the globe behind it. It's like trusting the ones around you. So it's universal. It's not like only these sort of people, like culture can only be loyal. Nah, it's, man, loyalty comes in all different shapes and forms, and and so just having that world is just to symbolize, it's universal. Nice.
Speaks all languages, eh? And so you sell merch, you're a lifestyle brand. I know that loyal to loyal or running your own business has opened up other doors. Can you speak on some other opportunities you've had?
Man, I did a collaboration with what's it called? It was with another program called Number 8. Prison, going into prisons, doing workshops.
Nice.
I also had a friend that does community events, and so he got me to go in and speak in front of a few entrepreneurs, and
Wow.
and it was like, wow, like I never thought I'd be at this sort of
Love it.
you know, place in my life when all we knew working was using our hands.
Yeah.
You know, there was no such thing as like speaking life into other people.
Like speaking and having these gigs. Like, yeah, how was that? What was that feeling, bro? Like,
It was, man, I can't really explain it because, man, it just happens like so fast. Like, it's almost like that saying, when it rains, it pours. Yeah, like so many times we pray to God, like, man, why is this not happening? We want this, but He's already got something ready for you.
Come on.
So, man, once you get there, it's like, oh God, like,
Yeah.
what, man? You got me. You got people paying me to come and speak to these guys. You got people paying me. I was like, man, just before like a year ago, man, I only had like 200 in my account. You know, now it's like people pay me 200 just to go speak there.
Wow.
You know, it's like, wow.
And I love that you said, like, you were in rooms that you kind of, like, didn't expect yourself to be in, because
man.
they say, like, if you're in a room and you're, like, the smartest, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
So always surround yourself with people that you look up to, you can learn from, you know, be a sponge around. So seeing yourself in those rooms would have been a surreal moment.
Man, yeah.
And, like, the boy from Shelby.
Yeah,
Because I wanted to ask, is that big with you moving forward in the business world, you know, where you came from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, man, being authentic as well. Just being yourself as you enter these rooms. Yeah, sometimes you got to dress apart. But, man, majority of the time, it's all in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way you... Because people don't see you the way you see yourself. As you know, you're the biggest critic. So,
Yeah, you're your own worst critic, yeah.
So whatever you put out, whatever you hold yourself, people see that.
Bro, I can imagine you driving on your way to the speaking gig.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? What are you...
It's like, man, I don't know what to say to you guys. Like, man, I just scratched the surface in business. Like, but yeah, and these people in the seats, they've never made $1,000 or $100 selling their product. So when they listen to me, it's like, oh wow, this guy's done
doing
this.
it.
Yeah.
He's
So
doing it.
oh wow, let me take some tips down. So wow,
I love the hustle. I love the grind, because when you talk about just what you said, I see you go to your supplier, you pick up, you know, and I always just see you. I know there's a team behind you.
yeah.
But you're picking up boxes, you're opening them up your inventory, checking, you know, you're loading up the shop. You know, how much of it is like a grind, and does your passion ever, you know, dwindle? Because I know there are those times where you're just like,
man,
zone out, you can't even remember, you know, how you got to places you're driving, and you know, those moments, you know, what keeps the fire burning for you and loyal to loyal?
Just the reason why we're doing this. Yeah, like, man, one of the main reasons why I started a business was to lay out a platform or a blueprint for my family. Yeah, like, man, we could buy a house and give it to our kids, but if they don't understand how to buy a house or where to buy a house, man, that money would just be like lotto to them.
Yeah. It's that whole saying of give the man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach him how to fish.
Teach him how to fish.
And that's what you're doing, that blueprint for your kids. Hopefully they can see what, you know, because our kids are sponges, eh?
Yeah, they're so true.
And if you're doing this around, because I know that you use mum and dad's garage sometimes.
Yeah.
I love that everything's around the family, around the home. How much of, before we touch on your partner, how much of your family have been involved with Loyal to Loyal?
Man, so much, man. I have my brother. He's pretty high up there in Fort Locker. So they fly him around Queensland, Melbourne. And lucky enough, he comes in and helps out every now and then. You know?
So he'd have knowledge too.
He would have knowledge how to set out, how to display, how to catch people's eyes they're walking. You know, for me, I would have just folded the clothes and put it there. But he, you know, these different ways to catch people's eyes, the colours.
Little tricks of the trades that he brings. So
just
is that your brother-in-law?
No, my brother.
Your brother?
My
Man,
brother, yeah,
okay.
yeah. And so, yeah, all he does, just the way he folds it, the way he displays it, that's what Foot Locker pays him for.
I remember growing up and hearing the term family business.
Yeah.
And I always like wondered what it would be like, or if I had a family business, how the dynamics would be in my home. I think it was maybe about 6 or 7 months ago, we got a pretty big order, and it was 370 piece order.
Oh yes.
And it challenged my family, it challenged us in a good way, because we had all the gear, we had the press going, we had mum and dad, they created a folding stage, and we had Janice kind of just sorting all the gear out, ready to go. And I remember there were mornings we would be up to like 4 a.m, and mum would like fall asleep on the table, Janice is like falling asleep on the couch. My dad's pretty good at staying up, and he'd just be sitting there watching me. And when I just look around going, man, I wonder what the family business, that dynamic. And I know for you, you've had, bro, I'm sure, countless nights where you're just going through, sorting through clothing, looking at errors, making sure that you're going through. But I know behind this, there has to be someone, some pretty special driving it. Your wife, can you talk about your wife and the impact that she's...
Man. The impact that it's like... Just on that brief where you're talking about those down moments that you feel like it's starting to, like your fire is starting to burn out. Coming home, talking to my wife, and man, she sparks it back up, sort of thing. So I'm just so grateful, baby. If you're watching, I love you. All right, and the kids.
Yeah, and he's gonna come home with 24 chocolates. No, because it's huge, and. I thank God that He's blessed us with partners that like on the same page, or even a couple of pages ahead of us.
Yeah.
A lot of times they're the driving. You're right. You're 100% right with those moments where you're just like, you know what? I'll just lay off for a bit, and then your missus will say something.
She was like, just go do it.
Yep.
You'll feel better. I will actually.
Yeah. Man, shout out to our partners, but man, what a story already. So Shelby boy. Class captain, bruh, that's something. Class captain, after college, went to the army 5 years, come back, and then you started, did you do create Loyal to Little straight away when you came back?
Nah. So
what was your mindset when you came back from New Zealand?
When I came back, man, just to work.
Yeah.
Work. And that was the cap.
And were you with your missus at that time?
Yeah, I was with my missus. So we're doing long distance when I was in the...
How was long distance? Like, in that 5 years, how many times did you see her?
Probably like 3-4 times a year.
Wow. So now we're moving into relationship.
Yeah.
Relationship talk. How many times did you say?
About 3-4 times
in 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So how did you keep that fire?
Well, when I first started, the first 2 years, we were just going back and forth on letters. They got us to just write letters to our partners, our families.
Yeah.
And when we finally marched into the battalion, they gave us our phones. So then, we would talk every night.
Okay.
But seeing each other was when I'd fly over.
Yeah. So the letters, were they with those the oil ink and the feathers?
That was in the beginning.
Everything was still black and white.
It was still black and white. It was still the,
Oh man, Morse code.
The Morse code.
So okay, cool. So you wrote letters, and then you came back from NZ, and then you started just working.
Yeah. And saying that, man, I had no clue what I was going to do.
Yeah.
All I knew was work, because that's all we're exposed to. Is work, make money, pay bills, buy fancy things.
Say that again, bro.
So it was just work, pay bills, and just buy fancy things.
And man, how much of your life did you think that was life? Like, how much
of it? Yeah, majority of it.
That was all that you're gonna do, right?
That was all I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's all I seen around me.
At what stage did this whole business, or when did that click?
Man, it clicked when I had a friend that started his own clothing brand.
Okay.
And so he wanted to kick off clothing brand, but I was still wanting to do other things. I was like, man, clothing brand. Maybe we're gonna look at a gym.
Whoa.
Yeah. We're gonna look at a gym. All right, what do you need to do to start a gym? Oh, that's a lot. All right, let's go do a barista course.
Yep.
Did that, and I was like, man, I not really feeling. I already make coffees and teas at home for the oldies. It's like I'm not really feeling that, man. And then clothing. One of the good things, one of the reasons why I picked clothing was I was just around people that were pushing weight.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
And so just seeing that, I was like, man, if you're making money like that.
Mm.
And because when you're young, man, you want to try other things.
Yeah. When you say pushing weight, bro, can you explain that?
Just fast money.
Yeah, okay.
Fast money.
So there would have definitely been a fork in the road.
Yeah.
So you came back from NZ and then you were working. You've been given this opportunity to make fast money, but go down a dangerous route.
Yeah.
So that was the clicking moment when you decided to do your own thing.
Yeah.
How lucrative or like how much of a lure was the bad, that side?
It was a lot.
Mm.
It was because it's so tempting. It's so easy. Like, we know someone that could get something, and like being here in Australia, man, the culture is drinking, partying, looking fancy.
Yeah.
So you're so caught up in that lifestyle, that life, that you want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Always.
What was the biggest driving factor? Where was God in that moment?
God in that moment.
Because you had that fork in the road. You had, man, easy money.
Yeah.
Probably more relaxing in terms of lifestyle. Or you had that grind.
I think the fork in the road was just seeing my parents get old and understanding, like, the last thing I want to do is put my parents in a position where they have to travel, come see me once a week.
Yeah.
So the last thing I wanted to do is just have my parents come and visit me, especially with my family. Like, it's ugly.
Mm.
And me doing that for my cousin, going to go see him, it's like, man, I don't ever want to put my family through this.
Yeah. Well, thank God you chose, the right path. I know you're a man of faith.
Yeah.
From there, did you, were you actively like praying to God to give you an idea or, what to run with?
Yeah. So, man, I literally sat down with my wife, told her, like, man, I want to start a business. Whether it's clothing, whether it's, let's run with it.
Yeah.
And, man, lucky for me, she worked for a supplier straight out of school that's here in Parramatta now. And everything just started aligning up, and it was like, man, all from the grace of God.
Yeah.
Man, God is good.
God is good.
God is good, man.
Okay, so, man, awesome. Now, I want to touch on, you said this earlier, what the brand stood for. And one of the words you said was self-awareness. Can you share a bit about self-awareness and like how much it's helped you, I guess, build your character and build who you are pretty much today? Because I honestly, I don't hear that word enough, self-awareness. I love looking at the mirror, not because I'm vain, but because I love learning new things about myself. So self-awareness for you.
Self-awareness is just being more intentional. We don't, as much as we think we're intentional, like, if you had to look up your day, like today, how full would that be?
Okay. So, yeah. So self-awareness for you was making sure every minute was intentional. On purpose, planned out. And that's given you a lot of building blocks to, because I know that a couple of months ago you shared with me the concept of time blocking. Man, and I never thought that you could actually plan your month ahead. I was always a skeptic. I was like, nah, whoever does that, they're lying. They're changing things and they're not even going by it. They just color in their calendar. It looks beautiful. Until you started talking to me about it, and then you started moving towards it and seeing the fruits of your time blocking, because you were reading books. You were pumping through your books. And with that time blocking concept, how much did that kind of mold your business side and being intentional?
Well, man, it helped me so much where, man, I was able to build up confidence to move into a mall, you know, and being in a mall, it's not cheap.
Yeah.
And not only that, man, you have to be there every day,
Yeah.
7 days a week. So it was literally like a full-on job.
Yeah.
And then understanding, like, man, we got to get some employees, we got to get staff,
Yep.
we got to get... Knowing all this, coming from, man, I just quit my job.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm trying to start this business, trying to get it up there. And just, I was just so lucky and blessed that God put these people in my life to be like, man, try this.
Yeah.
What about you try this? How you go this? You haven't done it yet? Like, they're holding me accountable. And I'm like, all right then.
Yeah.
You know, all right, sweet. And then just, going head first.
Go giving it a shot because
Giving it a shot.
you got the Shelby education, and then later on these other forms of education you've taken on.
Yeah.
Can you share a bit of that and what they did for you?
It would be just self-development. Just, man, simple as just reading a book. Man, you hear this a lot as well, man. Oh, I don't read books. It's like, well, can you listen to books? These audio books? Yeah. Oh, don't really listen to that. And do you listen to music? What's one day of you replacing your music while driving home to just listen to a book? It's not that hard.
Yeah.
You know, but man, we all got some excuse to be like, nah, I can't. That's,
The excuses are so loud these days, eh?
Man.
You've got so much you could just, I'll park that or whatever it is, because what you just spoke on was little changes of habits and that compound effect of changing 1%, 1%, 1%. At the end of changing 20 things, you've got, you're 20% ahead.
20%.
And I remember you asking me to look into a book, and I didn't look into a book, but I really took on podcasting. Like I listened to, I would Google anything, and there would be a podcast on it.
Swear.
There was one time I Googled how to handle the pain of gout.
Oh, there'll be a lot of listeners there,
Right.
man.
Hey, man. Hey, there's a whole different episode, bro. Don't worry. I'm going to get some gout boys on here. We get some mattresses because they won't be able to sit up. But, like, I remember listening to a podcast about how to kind of go through the pain, and I was just like, man, there's just knowledge for everything.
Yeah.
And we have no excuse. Like, it's free.
Yeah.
Literally free. And I think that's what I've seen for you is that you've just picked up things along the way. You're building and you're always learning. Because I remember that's one thing you say in your snaps is stay learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with that mindset, what's brewing now and what's to come?
What's brewing now? Man, right now we're just trying to it's pretty much just find our solid team so then we could expand.
Yeah.
There's no point in expanding because you can't be in 3 places at once. Yeah, so it's good just to just little steps.
Yeah.
Little steps, like you said. These little 1% will help us grow.
And I know with reading and a lot of that, acquiring all that knowledge, you've probably come along some quotes or some slogans that you've held on to.
Yeah.
What are some that you can share with us?
So, man, one of my favorite ones is the excuses only sound good to the one using them.
Shut up. So the excuses only sound good to me. No. 100%.
Yeah.
And how did that, what?
And so, that's always in the back of my head, like, if I want to go do something, and then I feel like, nah, I don't. And then I know that someone's going to ask me about it. It's like, why would I try and make up something in my mind just to justify it?
That was me last night, bro. That was me last night. I knew I had to go to the gym.
Yeah.
And I was procrastinating there. I was like changing where I was sitting. I'll be downstairs with baby and the missus, and then, I'll go upstairs. I might have a shower before I go. I got to go find my bottle. Where's my bottle? It's 8:30 and the gym closes at 9. I'm just doing those. But man, as soon as I got in there, bro, like just switched days. I just started lifting every single weight in the gym.
I can tell.
But
That's not the way I see you walking. The squats must have
those
been.
excuses, man. And I guess that's
more heavier than the weight you lift.
Oh, that's the excuses are a voice.
Yeah.
How important is it to listen to the correct voice?
It's so important because only time will tell.
Oh, the fruits, man. I've been on a 8-week challenge that's gone on for 3 years.
Yeah.
But
that's a good thing. It's still going.
hey, true. Yeah,
It's still
true.
going.
I haven't packed it in. I'm still trying.
Yeah.
And honestly, bro, to be honest, your 4 a.m. snaps, although I joke about it, it was so motivating.
Oh.
Just seeing you turn up daily, and you know that on social media you get that whole people watch but they don't react or you know give you your flowers, and it's not that we are looking for the recognition, but you're putting out content, you're putting out yourself on social media, because social media is such a big topic at the moment. I've seen, I don't know if I could say this, but it feels like you've mastered the whole care less about what people think.
Yeah.
Because man, you would be what did you break? Oh, you had knee surgery or something.
Yeah. So I saved my daughter falling down these set of stairs.
Oy.
Just at my mom's 70th, and it was devastating. I was like,
Full operation and everything.
yeah. So I full tore my patella tendon. So my kneecap came up here,
Gee.
and the doctor was like, well, everything's closed right now. So I think it's just by looking at it, it's just dislocated. It will pop back in. And I was like, all right, you're the doctor.
You're the doctor. Oh, man.
So we walked out, and for a whole week, this muscle was torn, and so my kneecap was up here. And I was thinking, surely it will pop back in. Like,
Any day now. Any day now.
And then my missus was just about to give birth that following week.
Wow.
So then, man, I went and had surgery, and then went and see my
Had
daughter
baby.
give birth.
And that was in a space of what you'd say like 3-4 weeks, just with
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that the business had to take an effect, you know.
Well, lucky for us, we were only at Parkley Markets at the time.
Okay.
So
it was
that
manageable. Almost.
it was manageable. And that's why I say God is good, because He only gives you what you can handle. In that time, I was pushing to get into the mall. I was like, man, I need to get in the mall. Man, my mentor, my coach been telling me, get in the mall. But they was just like, nah, we're full. Like, stuff just kept popping up. And I was like, man, what the? Not knowing that this is the reason why, like.
It's crazy because so many times when bad things happen, we accredit it to the devil.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the times it's God just going, hey,
just slow it down,
I'm sorry,
buddy.
son.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, son.
yeah.
Just like the story of Job. Like, the devil went up to him and he's like, give me one of your best. And God said, all right, I'll give you my best servant, Job. And this guy was loyal to the bro. Like, and he held it strong for God. And like, I always think, man, when it comes to my time, I'll crumble.
Yeah.
But that story always encourages me that even though everything was taken from him, he got like diseases and stuff,
everything,
and
like,
he still praised the name of
yeah.
the Lord. And with our what we think are big,
it's
very minimal compared to the stories. But when we do go through our storms, we're challenged. Our faith is always challenged.
Yeah.
And it's so easy just to give up and pack it up and, throw the biggest pity party and have a sook. But there's just something there that just says, hey, you're going to be all right. You're going to pull through. And it's only going to be a struggle or a mistake or something negative if you don't take a lesson from it.
Yeah.
And there's so many times where I've made a mistake, and I'm sure you have too.
Heaps.
When did the mindset of mistakes change for you?
I give you one big mistake.
Yeah.
So we did there was a parade. When they did the Tour Samoa.
Oh.
It was last year.
Yeah.
The year before. Anyway, they had the parades in Mount Druitt.
Yeah.
Wayland. So anyway, we did a pop-up.
Historical.
Bro, it was awesome.
History.
It was awesome. And then I think it was like the following week after, they held another one. But we were already booked in for another event.
Okay.
But it was, I think it was like a school culture event. Anyways, we went there, and I was like, maybe once we pack up here, we'll go to the parade. And then I was thinking, that'd be too much. Not knowing man, everyone that went to the parade sold out. Even if they like weren't official business, they just came, set up
turned
shop
into a flea market, eh?
and they sold out. And I was like, man, what? Not only that, man, they got to
Mix it with the team.
Yeah, mix it with the team. They're all getting amongst it, and I was like, damn it. I was like, damn.
Yeah, okay, that would have been So what? And you're sitting with like a carload of stock.
I was a carload of stock, and I was like, man, I didn't sell. I only sold 2 things that day, that whole day, and I was like, man, I could have went down to. I was like, man, you can't cry over spilled milk, I guess.
That's it. Eh? That's what I mean, because we can spend so much time in dwelling, that space of dwelling, and I heard this like mind or this little theory around emotions.
Yeah.
And like I always say, okay, when things happen to you, it's okay to have that emotion. You know, it's perfectly normal. But act like you're a tourist with your emotions. So I would say like, okay, cool. Shucks, I'm so angry because Anaya ate my Big Mac. And I'll be like, sweet, I'm gonna go visit the upset city. But just remember, I'm only a visitor. Don't stay there too long. You know, okay, something else happened. I missed out on this person. This person stabbed me in the back. I want to go to Pity Town. But remember, I can have that emotion. I can. But don't stay there too long. You know, and then I think I've like really adapted to that mindset now. It's like that saying of failing fast.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, when you fail, sweet, boom, have your little where, move on and see what the lesson was. Yeah. If you can't find the lesson, just move on. That's something that's been huge in my growth lately. And to be honest, I'm like, you're just talking about it. Yeah. You know, making sure so, you know, you've realized that you missed out on the Tō Samoa parade.
Yeah.
And you still got the stuck in the
one.
car.
Hey, it was the final one. I was like,
And what, you know, the worst is where people looking at you because you're the leader.
Man, the amount of people that said, hey, they're calling, Sonny, you're not done at the parade. I was like, damn. They're like, man, you should have told us we would have had a store here for you. I was like,
they're probably like, I'm selling things that's not even mine.
Yeah, man. They were like, man,
I just sold my car.
Man, we just went down to Kmart, some shirts came and sold it. I was like, Sully.
This bowl is from Samoa.
Wow.
Nah, I did see the footage, and you couldn't tell what was a tent.
Yeah.
It was just
that's how many
tables of stock, and you know what? Good on them. Good on them. We'll get them next time, eh? 2026 is the World Cup.
Well.
Damn, missed opportunities. But you know what? There was probably a reason for that.
Yeah. I
think you had to be in that space of selling just two items.
2 items that day.
I think you had to go through that.
Just to realize, like, man.
It's better than 0. Man, and so the beautiful thing about this is that you're doing it around your family, with your family. With my family. You've gone into other opportunities, speaking at prisons, speaking at like in rooms that you didn't expect yourself, seeing yourself.
Yeah.
How, when it comes to self-development, I know that you read books and I know that you've taken on a couple of courses. I want you to talk to someone that's thinking about, starting a business. And I want you to talk to them in the scope of how important self-development is.
So, if you're thinking of starting a business, start it. All right. There's only 2 best times to start a business: 10 years ago and right now.
Come on.
All right. One of the other things, self-development is so important. So, if you're not willing to learn more, you're only going to cap yourself. Man, if you want to start a clothing brand, you got to think up at like Nike level, where how many stores sell Nike? Foot Locker, JD. You know, they even got their own store.
Oh.
You know, that's the sort of mentality you need to start working towards, and just being around people that in the industry or similar, and just get like tips, tricks off them.
Yeah,
because you might not know, like, it might work for your business. Yeah. Everyone's different. So, yeah.
And the awesome thing about you is that you've never been a gatekeeper of information. You're always one to tell me what you're trying. And you're so right because man, there's no dumb question.
Nah.
You know, I was told that from when I was young, but I was still scared to ask the question. But honestly, there's such a big power in sliding into people's DMs. One of our close friends, Fatu, we got to know each other through DMs. And we formed a pretty cool relationship between us three. He has, what was it, customs? Yeah, sorry, bro. Apologies, my bad. I just saw his page today. But shout out to Fats, Eternal Phase. And man, I'll get the handle and get it in there. Something Phase. He does customized uniforms. Yeah. And he's doing such a good job. But
killing it.
It's awesome that we got together and we started doing these nights. Remember the Zoom calls we started having? And the Zoom calls, you had to come with what you've done and what you're looking to do. Yeah. And there was always something like a gem in there that, you know, we always taught or we shared with each other. But I love the fact that a lot of our chats were centered around the goodness of God and how we can learn, we can read all these books, we can listen to these podcasts, but until God ordains it or until He says go, that's when it really, really happens. Yeah. And we talked about it before, the fruits. I think there's man, correct me if I'm wrong. And if you find it, please put it in the comment section. But there's a verse in the Bible that talks about how do you tell a false prophet? And how can you tell it's a false prophet? And it leads to, you can tell a false prophet by the fruits that they bear. And in our relationship, bro, we're constantly looking at each other's fruits, not to compare, not to, have a race or anything, but to literally learn off each other. Yeah. And bro, I just want to say thank you, man, because it's been an awesome relationship. Like, you know, I always think I don't want to get into a relationship with an agenda that I can learn something off you. I want to get into a relationship because I believe that I can add value to you and you could add value to me. And with tonight's chat, how we know whatever talanoa, you heard that word flying around. You've shared your testimony. You've shared some tough times. Yeah. You've shared what's your going away message, bro?
Going away, hey, your time is coming.
Come on.
Yeah, and you can read this during the Bible, man. There's so many people in there, Moses and that, they all waited, till their time came. So, man, right now, man, just keep grinding away, keep pushing at it. And no, man, your time will come.
Come on, bro. Well, episode 2. Oh, man. Thank you so much, Selby. Loyal to Loyal, I want you guys to check them out. And do you want to just give your handles and, where you're currently at?
So, man, right now, we're at level 3, Blacktown West Point. Come check us out. We're LTTL Clothing on Instagram as well as TikTok. And, yeah.
Awesome. Check them out. Follow them. And let's do the journey together. And that word loyalty, man, I hope that we can just take its importance and the responsibility that we have to stay loyal, because I know that you're a big man in terms of your circle and checking on that circle. And I just want to say thank you for checking in on me. There's so many times you've been the caller and I'm the recipient. But I thank you, bro. I thank you. And I know that, our families we're starting to get to know each other, and I know that we're just going to start doing life together. But I just want to see you win, man. So I just want to affirm you. God bless you. God bless your wife. God bless your kids, your parents. So blessed to have your parents around too. I'm sure that, even if they don't say it, bro, I'm sure they're proud. 100% proud. And, a boy from Shelby, finding himself in rooms, speaking to, getting paid to speak.
That's unheard of, especially growing up.
Come on, bro.
Unless you're a 50L. Yeah, so, man, it's a blessing, man. Blessing.
Man. Episode 2, the Daily Bread Podcast. Check us out on Spotify, YouTube, And like I said, God is good. And
Don't forget to subscribe.
don't forget to subscribe. Let's go.
Blessed be the Lord who daily loaded us with benefits.
Use me some kind of way to make your name holy.
Our Father who art in heaven.
Holy be your name through whatever I do today.
So we do declare that our God not only gives us the bread that we need for today, but we do declare that it flows in excess.
Your kingdom come through this podcast.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Give us this day our daily bread. I'm like, Lord, I already have my daily bread. Like, you already fed me today.